You mentioned a little bit when you were talking about the Wagner position, your dog. So did you were you a hunter like your father?
No. My daughter had got into horse shows.
Okay.
She liked showing horses, and you do what your kids do,
Mm-hmm.
and that kept me broke. But anyway.
But your father was a major. He had bird dogs.
He
and
had the
hunted
national champion, and he had bird dogs. I had blue heelers.
Yeah.
Because that's what cow dogs.
Right.
I like blue heelers because they're smart and they're about half crazy like I am, and so that's why I got along with them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you remember your father's dogs? How did he get into the whole competition side of that?
Well, he was a big bird hunter.
Mm-hmm.
And so...
Both brothers were, right?
No.
No?
My uncle was a fisherman.
Okay.
And so my dad liked to quail hunt. Well, then as he got older, he realized that quail hunting was fun, but, back then, quail hunting was kind of feeding your family, when you didn't have any money. But now he got financial stability, and so he wanted to get into competitive bird dogs.
Okay.
And that's how he got into it. And there's kind of a funny story about his national championship dog. You'll get a kick out of this. After the dog retired, because you have to qualify the dog, and they show it. They compete at the Ames Plantation in Tennessee. Mm-hmm. So it's an expensive hobby. And so of course the dog retired, and he was there at the house, and so a guy came by and knocked on the door, and he said, "Are you Dr. Gordon?" He said, "Yeah." And he said, "Do you have the dog cross match?" He named him cross match after cross matching blood. Mm-hmm. And he said, "Yeah, he's here." And so this guy said, "Well, is he as good as they say he is?" And my dad said, "He's better than they say he is." That was my dad. So he said, "I'd like to see him do what he does." And I said, "That's okay." And what my dad would do when he would kill quail, he'd pull the heads off. Mm-hmm. And he had a fence row on the back, and he'd put the quail heads in one place, just so the dog could know exactly.
Right.
And so he gets Mac out of the pen, and he says, "All right, Mac, work down that fence row." And Mac went right down that fence row. When he hit those quail heads, he just locks up. That tail goes up, that foot comes up. He's like this. And the guy is like, "Wow, he really is good." And so the guy said to my dad, "What does it take to get a dog to do that?" My dad said, $100,000. And that was the name of that tune.
I bet.